Hey Max, since that no hitter, most of the runs have been scored off of home runs, of course, including you last night. Why do you think that is, or what do you think has led to you all having so much success with the long ball?
I'm not entirely sure. We just been putting together good at bats, and we were making good contact, and it's been leading to us. The ball leaving the yard a little bit, but we're not trying to do that. We're just trying to put together good at bats, trying to pass baton to the next person, and we've just been having good results with it.
In When we spoke with Dave, he kind of, after that no hitter, he kind of said that as a team, you all, maybe the word that he chose to use was slightly embarrassed. How have you seen a shift in your teammates and yourself since that night?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a good way of putting it. We were definitely embarrassed. Something like that should never happen to a team of this caliber, and unfortunately, it did. So we have to live with that, and we had to show up the next day and be ready to work. And thankfully, we showed up and kind of, we were able to put it behind us and move on to the next day, which is something that we've been very good at in the past. And hopefully, we can continue to be good at that. You just take it one day at a time, and I think we're getting back to doing that, and that's something that we're going to continue to do moving forward.
And we spoke yesterday, of course, about your bobblehead, and today all of the fans will get it. Are you ready to see 40,000 fans holding up your bobblehead tonight?
Absolutely. It's always a fun night, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
And then just last one from me, you of course are one of the 5 finalists for the All-Star voting. What does it mean to you to be at the top of the conversation and the rankings within the All-Star votes?
It means a lot. It's one of those things where just the way my career has gone, it's always a blessing to see how far I've come, and it means a lot to me to see that I'm getting some recognition. And for the other guys on this team, we have one of the largest fan bases in the world. We should all be right there at the top. So for the Dodger fans, we need to get out there and get all of our guys into the All-Star game.
Next question's from Dave Vassay. Go ahead.
Hey, Max, going back to the day after the no-hitter, was there something said amongst you guys, or was it just, own personal pride and accountability?
There wasn't anything that needed to be said. Everyone knew what was going on. Everyone felt the same way. There weren't any words said. It was a very silent clubhouse compared to what it usually is, and I think that was all that needed to be said for our guys in there. We knew what we had to do, and we changed it real quick.
Max, as far as the All-Star game goes, were you taken off guard that you were leading going into phase 2? And with or without the fans voting you in, would you be considering being part of the home run derby?
I'm not sure. I've been dealing with some injuries, so it'd be one of those things where I'd have to see how I'm feeling during that time. But if I don't make the All-Star game, that's a for sure not going to be doing the home run derby. So we'll see where I'm at when that time comes.
And last one for me, as far as the bobblehead and the theme of the bobblehead tonight, have you embraced being one of the main characters now as far as in this rivalry between the Dodgers and Giants?
Sure. If you're one of the main characters, that means you're doing something good. The Giants fans aren't going to hate you because you're doing something bad. So for me, that's a pretty cool thing.
Next question is from Rowan Kabner. Go ahead.
Yeah, Max, with an oblique strain, obviously it's not normally like a 10-day deal for guys. Were you surprised at all how quickly you were able to heal and bounce back from that?
Not entirely, because we got pretty precautionary with it. We pulled myself out of the game before it got too bad. Having done 2 obliques in the past, I know exactly how they feel, and the muscle hadn't quite gone just yet, but I could feel it getting pretty close. It was really tight. It was a little painful. Another swing or two and it might have popped, and we'd have been out 6-7 weeks. So thankfully I was able to say something, and we got ahead of it early, and just a couple of days off allowed it to get back to normal, and it's been feeling pretty good ever since then.
I was going to say, was there any worry that it might limit your power at all coming back? And obviously that hasn't been a problem, but just with the way you were hitting, was that a concern at all?
Yeah, it's always a concern when you're dealing with any type of core injury, but you just have to keep an eye on it, and that's also where you have to be smart. If you feel like there's something that's not allowing you to have your full swing, you need to you need to be man enough to speak up and know you're probably being a detriment to the team if you can't, go out there and give 100%. So it's that's one of the things where you just have to keep an eye on it.
And then how much did the time off, help the ankle? Where was that kind of the foot ankle? Where was that kind of progress during that time off?
It definitely helped. I wouldn't say the ankle's 100%, but then again, spring training is about the only time you ever show up for a season and you're 100%. Once the season starts, there's always some type of injury that's going to be nagging you, whether it's a muscle or, maybe you foul a ball off your foot or you get hit by, there's always something that's going to be bothering you. So it's one of those things where you just learn to live with it.
Thanks, Max.
Next question is from JB Hornstra. Go ahead.
Max, with respect to the home run derby, is there a thought in your mind that just simply swinging a bat really hard for a few minutes at a time could exacerbate any of the smaller injuries you're dealing with right now?
Yeah, always. That's that's why I was saying, I've been dealing with injuries, so I'd have to see where I'm at that point. And, to reiterate, if I'm not in the All-Star game, I 100% for sure would not be doing the home run derby. And, if I do get to the All-Star game, it's I still don't know what my answer would be for that. I think to err on the side of caution, it'd be more get rest, but, we'll have to see.
Yeah. You've talked about how last season that hand injury really affected you. Would you say you picked up where you left off prior to that injury, or do you believe you've evolved even more as a hitter in the last year?
I think a little bit of both. We made a couple of adjustments this year, a couple of changes to the swing to try and, keep up with how the pitchers were pitching. And, I also just carried over the momentum from the playoffs, and, that's the hitter that I know I can be. And so what I've been doing so far this year is the guy that I know I can be. And, that's the player I plan on being for the rest of the season, the rest of next season, and after that. So, I think that's just who I am.
Last one from me. Have any of the other dads in the clubhouse given you advice that has stuck with you?
Yeah, there's been a lot of advice. I think the biggest one is you're going to learn baseball is not everything real quick. A lot of them say baseball becomes a lot easier when, you have something more to look forward to at home, but, they've all been giving me great advice, and, I'm definitely gonna be leaning on them over the next few months.
Last question is from Mike DiGiovanni. Go ahead.
Max, when you look back at the day you told Bumgarner to go get the ball out of the ocean, was that a day or maybe a time in your career that you established yourself as a guy who wasn't going to be intimidated?
I suppose so. That's the person that I always am, just from the way I was raised to playing football to, coming up the way I did. I've always had a fire in me that, when I'm out there competing, I'm not going to back down to anybody. I don't really care who they are. And so, that might've been the first time that a lot of other people saw it, but that's the player that I've always been and the player that I'm always going to be.
Have you exchanged any kind of conversation with Madison since then? Maybe laughed about it or anything else come out of it?
No, we actually haven't talked since then, but, I don't know how he feels, but I'm pretty sure it'd be the same way that I feel, that there's no personal hard feelings at all. It just happened to be, two guys that were competing, and, the moment got heated, and that's really all it was. It had nothing to do with any personal feelings. And there's definitely to me, at least for me, there's no lingering aftermath on that. He's a guy that wants to compete and he loves to win and he hates losing, and that's how I am. So if anything, I respect him more for it. And it's just, it's just one of those things where it was a heat of the moment thing, and that's it.
Thanks, Max.